Mandela effect, you've heard of the cornucopia for Fruit of the Loom. So the idea is that at one point, Fruit of the Loom, the clothing company, had a stitched together cornucopia that would hold all the fruits but kind of spilled out. That was the original logo. Now, when you look back at the records, there's no actual proof of this cornucopia, but people claim that they've seen it thousands and thousands of times. Now, there's one lady who was driven crazy by this. She went to a therapist, and every single time she'd go, every week she'd bring it up, and the therapist actually had to calm her down because he was like, you're going crazy about this thing that didn't exist. Well, she got so fed up, and she went and found a shirt that had the cornucopia. She proved the Mandela effect wrong. She then, using that, went to the records, the trademark records for Fruit of the Loom, and found a trademark to remove the cornucopia. She had proven that this whole thing was basically, Fruit of the Loom was lying to people in mass. And this kind of relates to the way that people look at Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton nowadays is looked at as one of the greatest scientific minds of all time. He discovered hundreds of things, he invented dozens of things, right? But the Discoverers paints him in a different light. The Discoverers looks at Isaac Newton and he admits that yes, he was an incredible mind. He was able to produce so much that nobody at the time could. But he was a tad selfish. The Discoverer shows and almost exposes Isaac Newton as having this arch nemesis, Leibniz, who during the chapter was actually more of the protagonist, and Isaac Newton was the antagonist. Leibniz had claimed in several different inventions and discoveries to have made the discovery himself, but then Isaac Newton, being the head of the Royal Society, was able to just deny it. He was able to take claim of all of these things that Leibniz had discovered. Now, there's no real proof that Isaac Newton had faked his claim to fame, except for the fact that once you put the pieces together, it becomes apparent Isaac Newton was power hungry. He had fought his way into becoming the head of the Royal Society and was willing to cut throats in order to get there. And once he had gotten there, it gave him the position that he needed to convince the rest of the Royal Society to give him a claim to fame. Leibniz didn't stand a chance when he did claim that he had made these discoveries because Isaac Newton had written the refutation to him, and he had all of his employees in the Royal Society sign that refutation. It was one man versus Isaac Newton's empire. That right there was the strangest and probably the biggest piece that stuck out to me reading the Discoverer so far. How long is that?